And this is very funny, as Ronald said. I didn't think that I will meet him after a year here in Brussels. We sat together like 6 years next to each other and chatting every day. And then when he left Siemens, he left me alone, so I didn't have any partner to chat. But this is like very funny that we meet here. So as he said, my specialty, I am not a technical person. I am a lawyer. I'm a business person. So I love to deal with money, law, but I love technology as well. So that's why I probably, my specialty and my affection is IP valuation. Uh, the topic is building IP monetization strategy. So I am not involved in any IP strategy setting or setting the IP monetization strategies as such. My role and my competencies are coming after the strategy or the idea is set. Okay, what do we do with the IP now? And what are the scenarios? What could be the potential value we can get out of it? Or what is the value of the IP we are holding in portfolio now from our perspective, not from a perspective any transaction, but what do we really have in portfolio? Oh, I also have to. What? Well, I really love the. I was attending one conference, and there was someone talking about the IP valuation is not a rocket science. It's much more difficult, and I would say yes, it is, especially when we are thinking about patents. It's not as easy as it looked like. Uh, so I really like it. And I would ask you a question. Do you know what is the difference between price and value? No one? No one? I have nothing to throw, no frozen daiquiris, as the weather is perfect, so. Okay, so I will go on. The price is something which is end of any tactical or tactical negotiations. That's where two partners negotiated a price. The value of any asset is something which is defined which is defined considering certain methodologies. So that's where the biggest difference comes. Why do I place this slide here? Well, I remember 2011, 2010, 11, 12, where all these crazy patents, Nortel, Motorola were happening. And even in a company like Siemens, a lot of people came to an idea, well, we can sell all our patents when communication patents are sold for that money, so let's sell it. Well, that's not the truth, because that's not what you get. You see it. Price is what you pay, the value is what you get. So basically, not every patent has the same price or same value as any of the patents were handled or traded back then. Another thing which I think is kind of important, I don't know, for many things, or sometimes especially from accounting people, hear the sentence, well, the value of the IP is equal to the costs, which is not always the same, because as you see, the value doesn't relate to complete costs of recreation or creation of it. And as I said, a price is something which is derived out of transactions. So there you have a lot of strategic goodwill why a certain IPs were traded so high or so low. And as I said, the value is kind of a preference which you estimate based on some normative expectations, based on some methodologies. And why do we need the value? So what are the purposes? As Ronald said, I worked already on couple valuation projects, mainly currently, I don't know if you are aware of the OECD BEPS action plan, where IP is also discussed into action plans. So for tax purposes, there is a lot of valuation happening when you are transferring IPs from one country to another in a cross-border transactions, where a lot of tax issues are arising there. So that's the biggest part currently of my work. Some purchase price allocation, where I am consulting internal people who do in accounting departments purchase price allocations on some valuation assumptions and the methodologies. For damage estimation and insolvency liquidation, we didn't have that case yet. I hope it will not come. For transfer purposes, so sometimes it's licensing, mainly internal licensing, external licensing. We discussed a couple times with Ronald some cases. Technology transferred, I conducted a couple of valuations where not only patents but multiple IPs and complete technologies were transferred or acquired from a third party or sold to a third party. Buying, selling, that's mainly for patents. For merger acquisitions, especially for joint ventures, when you are bringing some IPs into a joint venture, well, definitely if you negotiate with the partner, you want to know, okay, what are you bringing to the joint venture, what you can kind of trade off with the partner. For management purposes, that's very interesting. I don't see it happening a lot of time in big companies. Usually, for management purposes, companies don't do valuation as on a big scale, so they do on a single case by case basis, where I also conducted, but no regular reviews of some maintenance rounds or something where they are asking, okay, so now we have, I don't know, 10,000 patents in portfolio, and let's assess the value of one each of them, which is not an easy task if we are considering it on a patent by patent basis. Yeah, that's basically the, the purposes under which usually the monetary valuation is required, or at least that's my personal experience, which I have. So you definitely might have different ones. And as we are talking about monetization strategies, so basically, before I think any monetization strategy or valuation can be conducted, we have to think about what is the function of the IP we are talking about. As you see here in the bubble, there are some of the functions. And I think if you know the function important to your business and is aligned to your business, and also to your overall business strategy and to the overall IP strategy of a company, then it's easier to define your exploitation strategies. And after the second step is done, so your exploitation strategies are defined or they have a certain purpose, then the valuation can be conducted based on considering the IP functions and plus also the exploitation strategies, either licensing, selling out, or blocking patents. So everything in the valuation world plays a role. And that's it. I keep it very short because I think I could speak hours about the topic, and I don't want to bore you about a lot of theory. And unfortunately, as Ronald said, it's not easy to disclose any of the projects I was working on, but I'm very open for any question to answer.